Hey, Sonny, we got some mellow music coming in to
I like
this segment.
it. It's
I
quite
love it.
nice.
It
I
is
feel like
nice.
we're
It gives me
cruising
some
down the coastline or something.
yes, with lying maybe on the beach with our book, listening to some vibes,
Ooh,
some waves, all of
that
those
would be
types of
nicer.
things. So, how are you going? How's your week been in the whole? Where have I
Ah,
been all my
for that.
life?
Whoops, I turned
Oh,
around.
there we
Yay.
go. Yay! Sonee is in Thailand. I am in Perth. And so, you don't want to stock up a load of bookshelves. So you're doing the Kindle because we recommend for our readers, because we're doing this every 2 weeks, to grab the Kindle copy. Or you can go and grab it at KMD Bookstore and we will get it to you super fast so you can get reading along with us, honestly.
Yes.
Amazing. Today is
There is
our
something
final
good
day.
about a physical
Huh?
book, though, isn't there? There's something so good about a physical book.
Smell it, feel it, love it, love it. I'm such
Yes.
an advocate for printed books. It's always my first go-to, and then I do have ebooks, but very rarely because I do a lot of digital work, and then so
Hmm.
I always prefer the book. But audiobooks I love as well. I love
Yeah.
listening to audiobooks as well. Do you listen to audiobooks?
I only just started, so I haven't been listening to audiobooks before, but I only just started, so it's something new for me. Prior to, I kept on thinking, no, there's no way I'm going to do audiobooks, but somehow I realized that it's really good to have in the background when you're doing things. Uh,
Yes.
so yeah,
I do. I do prefer nonfiction for audiobooks, and
yeah,
then yeah, just if I'm delving into something like this, or I know even though this is nonfiction, it's still story based.
yeah.
And then or a fictional novel. That's me. Sofa, duvet. No matter whether it's 50 degrees outside, I'm still going to duvet and a cuppa and just immerse myself in that world. Love it. Love it.
Yeah,
Anyway, let's get talking about the review of Where Have I Been All My Life. How did you find it? What's
I
your
love
take?
it. And what I love is that I have multiple versions of it. And for instance, for now I have this, but at the same time, I've got my physical copy that's at home, and it's a book that I think I would want to refer back to
Yeah.
several times, even in reading it the first time, which was several. Well, no, how long has her book been out? I think it's over a year ago now that I
Oh,
read it for the first time, and then reading it now, I found so much that I hadn't noticed before. So I think, if I wait again a while and read it, I will again find something that I hadn't noticed before. So it's a book that I would want to keep on my shelf.
it is one of those books that you grow with. There's these
Mhm.
special books that you grow with, and this book is one of those books. Whenever I read this book, obviously I've published it, so I read it when it was coming through, and I was like, wow, it just blew my socks off. I was like, wow, what a journey! Like, and
Mhm.
knowing Lisa as well, as an author, like to have the privilege of that, to know where she's come from and watch the journey of this metamorphosis of amazing human, and then for the journey she's been on 18 months since, like to see
Mhm.
that growth because of her book being out there into the world. There's another book since the book because of the growth she's had. But what I really love is that we get to see the growth within the pages and we
Mhm.
get to grow alongside the story. We don't live through Lisa's story. We kind of resonate and identify parts of ourselves on that journey because everyone, we experience quite similar things, but in different ways. We have our own, identity around them, but to resonate, and the courage she showed in this book, sharing things, but really just and feeling all the feels. I felt all the feels. Within this book, and I'm sure you were the same, Sonny.
Absolutely. And what I find so amazing with how Lisa shared her story is that she really pulls back the curtain. She really shows us the vulnerable moments, her down moments. And what I feel like, even though I haven't lived through her life, it's her life. Uh, what you said, you can resonate with so much, because when she pulls back the curtain, not only does she tell you stories about her relationships and who she was then, but takes it back to her family, and she goes in through a kind of retrospective but very deep journey. And that's where I think the resonance comes from, that you can relate to so much of what she shares, even being how the past relationship affected her family, how it came from her family, and how it morphed kind of into who she was, and how she went on this journey of discovering herself again.
Yeah. And how important relationships are in our lives, and how important it is to reflect and to heal from some things that are important to us and important to who we are and who we become and what we undo, and forgiveness and moving on, and dealing with fear. One of the things that is resonant for me, and I'm going to just read a little bit here, because as much as we deal with things and we grow through them and we heal through them, they can still pop up later on in the story. And just this little short snippet just shares how things can come back again, and but whenever you've journeyed through, you can identify, and you can deal with it, I suppose, with more of a outlook that you've come through it before, so you can come through it again, even if you don't want to, but it's okay, you will do it. Right, so during the COVID-19 pandemic, I admit I regressed into my old fears. I feared catching the virus and even dying. As I wrote through it, I realized I didn't actually fear dying. That's going to happen whether I worry about it or not. I fear dying with this book inside me. Like, how powerful is that? And that type of writing is throughout the book. Like, it's such a beautiful pace. So, we delivered the information that we need, that we just can learn so much from. And like, even that short 2 sentences there, you learn so much about who this person is, isn't it? You just learn so
and
much.
and how much this book was a calling. It's not just part of a story she wanted to share. Like, it was a true calling, and she honored that calling. And that's why I think there's so much that people can resonate with, because she also talks about how her journey went from being about relationships that weren't fulfilling, where she was the one who was always trying to go out of her way, to finally doing that for herself.
Yes.
And I think that this book is the ultimate expression of her doing this for herself. And that's why it's so beautiful.
And we can so learn so much from that, can't we, Sonee? We can often, what we gift to others is what we need gifted to ourselves, and others are not going to receive it with that, because others may have different things and different needs and requirements on their journey, and we may fit, but I would hate to think where Lisa would be now had she not journeyed and written this book.
I know.
Can you
Yeah.
imagine?
Yeah.
I hate to think, because sometimes in life, whenever you look back on the life, and like even for myself, I was talking about this morning, is had I not made that one choice in that moment that I was going to show up and write a book for 30 days back in 2010, had I not done that, I may never have found my way into publishing. I may never have written any other words. I may never have, because I didn't have the belief in myself. But then I said, do you know what? I'm going to give it a go, and I'm going to say hell yes, and I'm going to show up, and I'm going to action. It's the action, and honor the process. And when you do that, it changes the trajectory of your life. And I know that the call and the what Lisa did to honor this book, this calling, because had she known everything she would have had to go through beforehand, I don't think she would have done it. But that would have been overwhelming. But the outcome and the journey and where she is now in life is the most beautiful metamorphosis I've ever witnessed. It's just gorgeous. Through her story, she's giving so much to others and continues to give. It's not just a flash in the pan, the book's birthed into the world. She's nurturing and growing this baby so that it can reach its audiences. And that's one of the things that I love about Lisa's authorship. And we both do the same ourselves, so we can identify with that as well.
Well, and the one thing that I remember from what she shared with the with us during the interview last week is that she had versions of this book that didn't pull back the curtain enough, and she was kind of given this advice that you really need to share that because that is where the story lies. And I mean, I don't know what her early versions were of this book, but this one is, it just packs a punch. It is so effective, but in a gentle way, in a very Lisa way, because she's also very gentle. But it delivers, like it just delivers really strongly. And I've really connected with the book. And I just found, kind of what you said, this metamorphosis, like this beautiful unfolding that you witness as you read the book. That when you start with her and where she ends up in the book is also just a beautiful journey. And even if it's not your desire to write a book, maybe that's not what you've been craving to do, but it could be anything else. And that's why I think that her story is so universal.
It's universal. Everybody will get something from it. Even men, you get to get an insight into the journey, and it helps you to be more mindful, I believe. We have a few people commenting here. I'd love to just share their comments. The wonderful Peace Mitchell, I love this book so much. What an incredible journey. Thank you, Peace. Thank you for joining us. Beautiful. And Katie is here, and she says, what a powerful thought. Whatever that thought was, it was powerful. Thank you, Katie. And the beautiful Amanda Thompson, thank you for joining us. And we are so glad you said yes. We are all so much better for it. There you go, Lisa. You've got a few cheerleaders there, a few people who have read along with this amazing book. And that's what this book club is about, isn't it, Sonee? Like Lisa wrote 400,000 words to get this baby out into the world,
which is just amazing. I mean, and it must have been also just such a healing journey for her. I mean, because I feel like I healed just reading the book. And so the journey that she must have gone through healing and writing the book must have been so powerful.
Yeah. And it just goes to show as well that whenever you're writing a book like this, whenever you're writing your story, you're always going to write a lot more than the reader needs to read. Mm-hmm. But you have to pour it out. You cannot stop. Like the first draft is the pouring of the first. It's letting everything out, not stopping, letting it out, and then it can be molded into a book that readers need to read. But if you don't pour it out, if you don't heal, if you don't put your heart and soul onto the page, then it can't be crafted into something that's really going to have impact like this book really does.
Absolutely. And it's almost like it's not until you write everything that you recognize where the true worth is in the story that you have to share. And so for her to go from, nearly 500,000 words to where really she was.
Holy shit, you're right. Excuse my French. Wow, for one book. Wow.
For one book. But that's why it's such a gem, because it's really powerful. I mean, every word is well thought out, well delivered. There's a purpose to it. There's an arc to the story, even though it's a nonfiction. But there's a beautiful journey that Lisa goes through, and she shares really intimate, really deep things. But there's a lesson in it for all of us. I mean, just even seeing that journey and seeing the importance, I think, also of sharing your story, because so many of us want to just hide and not tell our story, and we feel like we're going to be judged and we're going to be criticized. And the fact that
Lisa has the best bits,
yeah. And the fact that Lisa has had this courage, I think, also gives you the confidence, or gives people the confidence to want to share their story and know that it's okay. It's who you are. It's what makes you you.
It can actually be a really big strength, like who would have known that sharing her story, how I finally grew up after a life of putting up, giving up and shutting up, that it would become her superpower. It is her superpower. Yeah. It's what it's her gift into the world and helping so many. And every one of the words in this book, all of the pages move you forward a little bit. It's beautiful, gentle, gorgeous pace that's impactful and just keeps you engaged and wanting more the whole way. It's just amazing. So that is, if you haven't read it, go and get it, and please just read it, come and share your feedback with us. We'd love to have you, or come along to our Facebook group, which is, for now, we're going to have a page soon, so easier access. But our Facebook group, which is KMD Group Bookstore with Karen and Sonee, or book club, sorry, and you'll find an exclusive interview in there that we did with Lisa last week. It was an amazing interview. I loved it. Did you love it, Sonee?
I did, and I'm so excited that she's writing a next one, so that we actually have a chance to get more of this.
Yes, and also Lisa has now got a library of anthologies that she's part of. So she's
Yes.
gifting. It's always some new, because as the growth happens, lots happen. So yeah, there's a sequel coming to this, which is amazing. So go get the book if you haven't, and if you have been reading along with us, thank you. We are doing a new book every 2 weeks, and it's funny because it said that you give a thumbs down. You know the way that things, it picks up on. Do a thumbs up, so when you see if it does. It's funny because it gives you a thumb. Yeah, no, it didn't. Every 2 weeks we're doing a new book, so we're going to share with you in a moment what our book is for the next 2 weeks. So you can go to KMD Group Bookstore. I am sending copies out today personally with a special little gift that you can frame. So I suggest that you go and grab your copy today. I will get it out to you. And if not, go and get your Kindle version and read along with us over the next 2 weeks. I can promise you that Lisa Benson's book is amazing, and we've grown over the past 2 weeks with it. And I will be reading Lisa Benson's book again next year, because it is one of those books that you see different things in every time you read it. It's just amazing. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to share with you the next week's book. But what I want to do is every week I'm going to share a children's book as well, because I'm a mum. And when I'm reading, my kids love to read too. So I have a book that goes beautifully along with Lisa Benson's book that you can gift to your children, grandchildren, whatever. And it is El Lico. I'm not going to say her surname because my Irish tongue is just going to destroy it. But it's I Want to Be Me When I Grow Up. And look at how good these two books go together.
I love how they match.
They're sitting beside each other at my computer, and I said, oh my goodness. So
yes,
I'm reading
they
this.
match in theme and color.
Yes. And where have I been all my life? I Want to Be Me When I Grow Up. So get the foundations in with the kidlets. And this is a beautiful book. It's going to be in all bookstores across Australia next month. And Elle is just absolutely gorgeous. And this book it's about her daughter and for her daughter, but it's for all young girls to really think outside the box and think about. So shout out for I Want to Be Me When I Grow Up. Beautiful. I done a beautiful interview with Elle during the week. So Sonee, it's time for us to announce what the next book club is going to be. So do you want to say?
Ooh, sorry. I almost lost my yay.
Wholehearted confidence. Let me just put up I've got a thing here.
Yeah.
Wholehearted Confidence by Fleur Chambers. Now, anyone who knows me, then they will know that I love Fleur Chambers' books. Her first book, 10 Pathways, is beautiful. Inside this book, there's beautiful illustrations. Let me see. There's one. There's so many beautiful illustrations. And it's also endorsed by Rick Hansen. So if you don't know Rick Hansen, go and check him out. He's huge. Fleur has done it again, offering soulful guidance that is fresh, helpful, deeply grounded and wise. He's just like me, because he endorsed book 1 and now he's endorsing book 2. But how beautiful is Wholehearted Confidence, a new way to live, love and contribute. And I think it's a beautiful book that comes after Lisa's book, because both Lisa and Fleur are in this beautiful soft energy. We don't have to be loud. We don't have to be out there in your face. We can learn so much in a gentle way. And confidence beams from every orifice of us whenever we do it with all of our heart, I believe. So I'm in love with this book. I know you will be too, Sonee.
Yes, well, I read 10 Pathways, her first one, so I'm really excited to read this one. I haven't started yet, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we had 10 Pathways didn't as our feature book at the Castle in 2022, wasn't it? I think. Yeah.
Yes.
And everyone, yeah, it was gifted. So yes, Wholehearted Confidence. Grab your copy today, or like Sonee over there. Look, where's my finger going? Grab your Kindle.
Yes, the Kindle version.
Okay. And we are going to be inviting Fleur in for a chat so that we can talk about this book, just like we did with Lisa. How lucky are we to be able to get access to these amazing authors?
I know. I love it because we get to read the book and then we get to get the personal insight. It's beautiful.
Yeah, the story behind the book. I love it. So go grab your copy of Wholehearted Confidence and get reading with us over the next 2 weeks. Our live next week will be the interview with Fleur, and then the week after we will do our review. But come and join us in the book club. And did you know that you're supposed to read at least for 1 hour every day? So if you come and read 1 hour every day with us, you're going to advance and grow. And before you know it, it'll be like, oh my goodness, so much has happened in my life in such a short period of time. Thank you, reading. Thank you, reading wholesome stuff, that's going to make us move along.
It's beautiful. And they do say that reading on a regular basis makes you more empathic. So there you go. Makes you a better decision maker too.
Makes you better what?
Decision maker.
Oh, yes. Let's make decisions with unwavering confidence. We have that and many more facts coming up, guys. So come and join us. We love reading. We love the learning that happens with it. We love the escapism. We love all the different things. And when things are, when we're struggling in life, which all of us do, no matter how wonderful our lives are, but no matter how much we live our best lives, struggles happen. When you read in that time, it helps just grow you, expand you, and helps with the understanding and the growth part of it. So it doesn't feel so much of a struggle. The breakthrough will be imminent, I promise.
Especially if you read Lisa Benson or Fleur Chambers. So there you go.
Absolutely. We have a whole list for you very shortly, and you'll just be like, yeah, okay, cool. So it's time for the music, Sonee, and then we will drift off into... Bye, guys. See you next week. Come join us in the book club. Bye, guys.